Okay, today we're going to do a quick video. This is one that we did on our tester site to kind of show how to color eyes. And I'm actually going to show you how to do some shading on this one to just bring out some of the coloring and some of the features that are here. So what we have here is a pair of men's eyes, and I've just went up here and opened it, opened to where I had it saved. Okay, so I'm going to start out by go ahead and going to our lipstick tool here. It's called the touch up tool. And I'm actually going to use some of the little features that we have here today because we didn't use those the other day. So I'm actually going to go to spray pan and pick a color for a skin tone. And you can darken and change the intensity here along with your brush size. And we're going to start out doing this. So we're just going to go ahead and brush his face. Get a little bit bigger brush. And just go ahead and brush the face and all these areas. I'm really going to concentrate on his eyes today. Getting some good shading in there. Okay. Got this covered here. Get his eyebrows getting colored. I want those to kind of be uniform. I'm going to go down some because I see a place in these eyelids it looks like I missed. Alright. And right through here. Alright, so we've got a good base coat here. I'm actually going to turn it a few shades to make sure I haven't missed anything. And it doesn't look like I have. Let me get a little closer here. Alright. Now that we've got that done, I'm going to go shade that I like. Let me darken a little bit. And that looks like a realistic skin tone. Gives him a good color. Let's see a place I've missed up here now. Alright. And now we can either do one or two things. We can actually put another coat on, go ahead and push apply. We can do another coat, which I'm going to go ahead and do on this one just to kind of show you how this can be done. So, I think I picked this one on the last one. I can actually pick a different shade or tone this time. And actually it'll blend and give him a different shade. So let's just do this one. Go a little bit bigger. And then we can look at the different possibilities by going through and clicking each one. That's a little too red on those, which I could actually change the intensity down and keep it from looking this red. But I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to go to one of these and take the intensity down just a tad on that. I actually like this one better. It gives him less of a yellow skin tone, and that's something I kind of want to avoid with our shading. So I'm going to go ahead and push apply, and I'm going to go down now because I'm going to show you how to do some shading. As you can see, he's got a lot of highlights right through here, kind of on his eyebrow right here, even a little bit underneath. So I want to bring those out. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take a yellow. You can do a light yellow, a real bright yellow. I prefer kind of somewhere in the middle. And I got to take my brush size down because we're doing highlights. We're not doing a full face covering, but we want to just kind of touch these highlights. Touching down here. And it's always good because your face doesn't have one color. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to add a few more colors in and just kind of blend them in. Do this. I'm going to go around here and touch a little bit. Just see where that light's hitting and reflecting. So, now we've got that. And I always kind of try to touch here too, because it's that T-zone. You're going to have a little light reflecting here too. Let's kind of blend them together. Okay. So now that we've got that kind of covered where we want our highlights, we're going to go to the fade and start fading this in until it looks kind of natural. And it's usually going to be down really low. You almost won't even see it. And anywhere else you can just kind of blend it to make it, if there's like a real noticeable place that you miss, you can just kind of blend that. Alright, so I'm happy with that, so I'm going to go ahead and push apply. And then I like to put a little green tones in the shades. Maybe not that dark, maybe more about like this. And for women, if you use those concealer packets when you do your makeup, you know that you have all these colors. You have the pinks and maybe even some violets and some greens to help cover those facial imperfections. We got a little shadow here. Do a little green in here. Got a little shadow here. And a lot of shadow here. Because we can't really see the rest of that side. I'm not really too worried about that, but we do have a lot of shadow. And we're going to go ahead and basically, your wrinkles you kind of want to add a little green to too, because they're shadowed. Okay, and you're going to basically do the same thing we just did. You just start fading that in to where it's not so predominant. And it's about there. It's usually going to be in your 80s range, 86, 87, somewhere in there, that you kind of get that blended look. So we're going to add that. Next, we're going to kind of do our reds, which normally, and also on the yellows, if he had, you know, if we could see his ears, I would actually add some on the inside of his ears because there's always kind of a light reflection there. Okay, with the reds, I would normally add this around the nostrils because you're usually red around your nostrils a little bit, and maybe even a little yellow underneath the bottom lip to give that reflection. We don't have a lot of that. Men tend to redden in the forehead, a little darker, a little redder. Let me go ahead and pull this down to where he's a little darkest there. And you want to give a little color to the cheekbones from being maybe out in the sun. Maybe a little there. Not a whole lot here, but just a little. And then we're going to do the same thing. You're going to start pulling your fade down. Again, it's probably going to be in the 80s range if that starts blending. You can still see it, but it's not a whole lot. So, and that looks very natural. So we're going to go ahead and push apply. And then men generally have a violet color on the eyes because they get less sleep and they get the bag. So they're usually going to have about a violet color underneath their eyes. And some of that's age. And, you know, it's just, I don't know why men do. They tend to have a little violet or blue under their eyes. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Bring that down some. And we're going to go ahead and add some here. Now you can't really see it over here, but we're going to add it just for general purpose there. And then again, you're going to start blending that. And I don't generally blend the violet out as much because I kind of want it to show a little bit. So I generally take that to about 70. And I'll push apply. And then I'm going to zoom in. we're going to work on his eyes, which this is the eye that you can really see here. Um, this pink line right here is generally here. It's going to be on the inside of your eye. You look in the mirror, you're going to have a pinker shade here. It's not going to be the same as your base tone. And I find kind of a shade about this color right here. It's going to work the best. Maybe a little purple in it. About like that. It's going to work the best. And we're going to go to a little bit smaller brush. Because his eyes are so big on this one, we can actually use a little bit bigger. And we're just going to trace this line here. All the way down. We're going to get his inside and inner eye here. Go ahead and get here. And sometimes I'll even do this right here. So let's back out and have a look at that. And that is really bright. We don't want it that bright. So we're actually going to fade that in some. Not like that. Because it's not a large difference from your natural shade of your skin. So that looks good. So we're going to push apply. And normally I would go in and do this one too, but you can't really see this one. You see this one really well. But you would do this on both eyes. Okay, now we're going to color his eye. And getting a natural color to the eye is very difficult. I generally do like an orangish yellow shade, about right here. And I will go in, especially with the lighter eyes, it shows up a lot better. But I will go in and actually create a ring around that iris. I like that. Just a good color. And I'm going to brighten it actually. I'm not going to fade that one out. I'm going to leave it kind of bright. I'm going to push apply. And I'm going to do a green somewhere down in here. It's usually about where I go. And I'm just going to start in. And I'm going to cover that orange or just yellow. I'm going to kind of cover that. It's usually not that bright. Bring my green up some. And I might actually have to probably do 2 coats on this. Take the fade up. And just make sure you blend that really good. May have went a little too orange on this eye. Let me get back and look. Yeah, his eye is a little orange. That's okay. You get the picture. But, you know, because our eyes aren't all one color. So you're going to kind of blend this. And you can actually make that ring a little browner. And it'll blend a little better. So I'm going to push apply. Matter of fact, I think I may do that. Go in and add a little brown. Go in. Add a little brown on top of that. So it kind of dulls that orange a little. It's not so yellowy. And I'm going to fade that. So. Alright. And we're going to push apply. Alright. And then what I do is I pick a brown. Do green eyes. I usually do a brown. And I trace this outer line here. And what this will do and then I'm going to start pulling some of this in. Just get a little more color to the eye. Which you wouldn't think you need, but when you zoom out, had I not done that hot yellow, it would actually look a lot more normal. And that doesn't look bad. A little more yellow than I like, but it's not bad. Go ahead and pull the fade up. And push apply. And then depending on what you prefer, some people like to airbrush this, which your airbrush is going to be up here. You can go through and, you know, airbrush some of this and make it a little smoother. And I prefer a lot rougher look, being men. Like men to look more like men. So I leave it a lot rougher. And I don't I don't tend to airbrush in as much to get the imperfections out because I prefer the imperfections. But I'm going to go ahead and do some on this one just to kind of show you. You can kind of blend this a little bit better and get some of these little imperfections out. You know, just you're going to customize it to however you like. And you can turn your fade up, make it a little more airbrush. You can kind of turn it down, make it a little less airbrush. Push apply. You go ahead and go in and color. Which normally when I color eyes, I would do both of them at the same time so that this wouldn't be an issue. But we're going to go ahead and color this one. And I'm actually going to do this one a little more brown. And see if we can maybe get a little more natural look on this one. And I'm going to take my brush size down quite a bit. Which this one's a little harder to see, so it's going to look a little more natural. So we're going to go ahead and do a ring, bring up the fade, apply. Again, we're going to get our green. It was down here somewhere. Take our brush size down. We're going to go ahead and fill this green in. Go ahead and fill it over that brown. Push apply. And then we're going to take that brown again and we're going to go around the edge. Okay. Let's go back and see how that looks. See, that one looks a little more natural than the other. We're going to go ahead and push apply on the other. Now you can do one of two things. You can go in and do an eyebrow pencil if you want. And kind of darken this up so it looks more like hair. Less like bases, then run over it. You can even take the fade out some. Push apply. You can use the mascara tool like I showed you on the video before. Take it up. It's going to enhance all of this. Or you can do without it. Either way, it's fine. Now you can really see the yellow in that eye that I made a little bit too bright. Go through. You can actually brighten the eyes. If you had teeth that were showing, we'd whiten his teeth. And we'd want the teeth to blend into the rest of the picture. There's a lot of things, wrinkle removers, blemish fixes. Even with females, you'd be adding eyeshadow, probably eyeliner, and definitely the mascara to go over the eyelashes. Sometimes I use the whisker grow for different things. I've used it to create eyebrows when I've went over with my skin color. Sometimes the eyebrows will get lost in there sometimes. And instead of going back and erasing it, sometimes I'll just go ahead and create an extension of where their eyebrows should be, which is very difficult to do. It's kind of a pain. You have to really practice with that, and you want to keep your brush size small and your scryiness very low. But since we don't need to do any of that, it looks like, you know, the picture looks fine now as it is. And I will post this picture, or actually the picture is posted on our Teach Me to Color site, and you can go down and get it and actually practice it yourself and kind of see how you do on those first colorizations, especially the eyes. The eyes are a hard thing to get. Like I said, even here, I really got it way too bright. I should have used more of a brown instead of a yellow. But just practice and try out your eyes and see how good you get. Try out your shading, because as you see now, the shading really blends. We could go over to the Orion tool, or the Orton tool, I'm sorry. I think I colored Orion on the other video too. And really play with those features. And as you notice, the skin color, when you use this Orton tool, it can really become real orange, and you can kind of fade it in to keep it from looking so orange. But we're going to go ahead and push apply. to just kind of give it a better look. And we're going to save it. Like I said, I like to save in that higher quality. You can actually save in a PNG too, but I save in a JPEG. I'm going to save it to my computer. And I'm going to save it under colors. And then I'll have it to post some other time, or post it on the website. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just post and ask, and I will try to address it in our next video. Thank you.